What changes, if any, would you like to see made to New Hampshire's abortion law, which bans the procedure after 24 weeks gestation? Mr. Aciard.
Now, I don't think now is the time to propose another restriction on abortion. We need to settle with the one that we have right now for a little while, and once that has acclimated and the culture in New Hampshire is used to it, then we can go further. But right now, this is something, to me, what I care about is that the law reflects New Hampshire. Now, I'm unapologetically pro-life. If a bill hit my desk, I'm not going to lie and say that I wouldn't sign it, but the reality of further restrictions hitting my desk in this next cycle, I'd say are pretty slim right now. What I'm more concerned about is from either side of the aisle, DC's attempt to overstep New Hampshire and try to ban or legalize abortion up to the day of birth federally, because I believe both extremes in each party are not good for Granite Staters at this particular moment in time. Everything is about cultural shift. Everything's about moving incrementally towards a step. I don't believe that I should be screwing Granite Staters.
Mr. Riley, would you like to see any changes to the state's abortion law?
I disagree with Mr. Aciard, and here's why. We look at 39 countries in Europe. They're about 15 weeks. We look at states like Virginia, which are blue-purplish states. They're moving towards a 15-week ban right now. Governor Youngkin is working with the Senate very closely on that. At the end of the day, Governor Sununu is an abortion extremist. He wrote a recommendation letter for HB 1609, and that was to gut the Fetal Life Protection Act. That's what he's been all about. The state legislature did the best that they could to pass any type of a ban under a pro-choice. He said it 1,000 times, abortion governor. He's been for it the entire time. They'll know working with me on day one, we're going to do better for moms, we're going to do better for preborn babies. And this may not be a popular opinion, but we're going to go ahead and do the right thing. I'm not a career politician. I'm not playing games with anybody's lives either. We are going to do a great job and inspire our communities. We have 1,040 churches in the state of New Hampshire. We could get many of them to rise up and be part of a better story for moms and babies.
Mrs. Testerman.
Yes, I would absolutely sign a restriction because the Constitution says that we will defend and enjoy life. It doesn't make any stipulation on what age of life or where the life is located or when the life is, how old the life is. And so, and as I stated before, you know, one of the biggest problems we have is our employment. We don't have enough workers. And part of that cause was because we have eliminated 60 million children, and half of those children would have been women who at a certain age would have had another generation of children, and perhaps that mother might have had 3 or 4 children. So our population is suffering, and that's part of the reason that we're aging.